Slamdown is sponsored by Body Slam and Jam and WWE Smack Talk. Welcome back to Slamdown live stream. Today's going to be a bit of a TNA Catch Up episode. I want to be covering the last 2 weeks. For people that don't know, I have been unwell with the flu and I lost my voice, so I haven't been able to do show for 2 weeks. So I'm going to be doing the catch up to everything TNA. Later on today after this show, I'm going to also be doing the WWE catch up, and then we'll be back to normal, meaning by Monday we'll be back to the Impact talk, because starting Monday I'll be changing the name of the show to Impact Talk due to Anthem have dropped the name TNA. So today we're going to cover everything about the changes with TNA, because the show I did before was the one about total non-stop deletion. So I've got to stop saying TNA as well, because it's not TNA anymore, is it? It's Anthem, Impact Wrestling. And so let's sort of get a cover up before I cover the show of what's happened and what's going on. So now Anthem have took control. Dixie Carter owns 15% of TNA and has no power, no creative control, nothing. She's just a silent shareholder. Look like what Jeff Jarrett was back in the day, where he was a small shareholder after he left the company, and which we know Dixie Carter bought him out later on. Jeff Jarrett is back with TNA. He is working as a creative consultant, same as Zeb Coulter as well. So to me, that's already a good start, because it means, back in 2005 to 2009, it was Zeb Coulter, Vince Russo and Jeff Jarrett running creative. So it's a good start. I know Russo's not there, but anyway, you still got two of the three that run TNA in its heyday. So for them to be behind Impact Wrestling, brilliant idea, really good move by Anthem. We've also know there's two new stars to Impact Wrestling who have returned. We've got Brooke Tessmacher, who's returned, and also Angelina Love. There is another superstar that has been at the tapings. I'm not going to say what his role is or what he's doing, but I will say now, Bad Bones looks like he has been signed to Impact as well. And also, Bad Bones is also a trainer at Al Snow's Wrestling Academy as well, so it makes sense for him to come in. There's been a few leaves as well. We've seen Mark Andrews, who has his contract expired and wanted to leave TNA. As people have seen, he was in the WWE UK tournament, so they've lost Mark Andrews, which to me, I'm gutted about that, because he was a guy that had a lot of potential. A lot of the times he was used incorrectly in TNA, to be honest with you, because he is a fantastic wrestler, has a fantastic ability. You know, it was just like they were using him to job, which I felt was disgusting, to be honest. I think he was used in the complete wrong way. And we've also heard that Marty Bell has been released, which that's not really a big shame to me, because after the Dollhouse split, they used her a couple of times against Jade and then nothing. So I can understand her being released. I'm happy that the women's division is strong in TNA. It might not be as good as what WWE has at the moment, but to me, I still think TNA has still got a good knockouts division, which is good. The weakest area in TNA at the moment is the X division, and I'm hoping with Jarrett on creative, hopefully he can persuade Anthem to bring in some good X division stars to build up the X division. You know, there's a lot of work to go. You know, Anthem haven't owned TNA long, and things are looking positive. The only thing that I don't like is the new logo. And the reason I don't like it is, why would you put an owl in it? You know, if they're dropping the TNA name, what they should do is Anthem presents Impact Wrestling. Don't put your logo in with the Impact. It looked awful, to be honest, and it really does. So I think that's the way they should go about it. I really hope that they do a better logo and just change it to Anthem Presents. Because then you can even use Anthem Presents Open Fight Night and everything else. So, you know, instead of using the name TNA, just replace it with Anthem. That's what I would do. I'd have your wrestling show called Impact Wrestling, the pay-per-views called whatever, and always just have Anthem Presents. It's a lot better that way. I'm hoping there's going to be no more one night onlys, and we're going to see proper pay-per-views. One thing I do like is Race for the Case. I know some people have been moaning about the name change, but you've got to think of it this way: it's not Feast or Fight anymore. You know, they've modernised it, they've updated it a little bit, they've made it, I'd say, better. Because if you think about it, the person that gets the first case gets to pick whatever match stipulation and whatever title. Person that gets the number 2 case can pick whatever match or whatever title, as long as it's not ones that number 1's picked. Which I think that could work a lot better. Because, you know, when it was Feast of Fight, you get a title match. It was a singles match for a title, and that was it. This one leaves it more open to other things. That's the way I see it anyway, and I think it'd be better. A lot better for creatively to do more with. I'm hoping they bring other stuff back. I loved when they did the Bound for Glory series, where it was actually, because last time they did it properly was when AJ Styles was in it, and AJ Styles didn't have enough points, and where they did weird matches and matches and matches, and whoever had the top points, and the way that was done was brilliant. It was, you know, you saw people getting competitive in matches, and it proved it was like the better wrestler gets the match, and that's the way that felt to me. There is a lot of stuff that I'd love to see TNA bring back, but you know, it's all about it being done in the correct way and in the right manner. You know, one thing I will say, if don't forget, you can post anything in the comments. I do read comments and everything else. So for me, TNA looks positive, just don't like graphics. A couple of things that I would like to see: I'd like them to redo the stage, give us better staging, and I'd like to see Pyro back. I know Pyro is only a small thing, but it builds to the atmosphere. That's what I'd like. There has been news that the actually Impact Zone itself, that they've had higher attendance. So that's a good sign. Really, because I'm in the UK, we've got to get TNA through the TNA app, which I'm not really happy about, to be honest. I'd rather they did the app where you could get all the pay-per-view lives, but Impact Wrestling itself on a TV deal. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't think I should pay to watch Impact, but I don't mind paying to watch the pay-per-views. That's the way it looks to me anyway. But I will be getting the app as soon as they released it on Xbox. that's what they need to do next for me to watch it properly. But there's potential in it. Right. I think that's all the news sort of side I've covered with TNA. I think it's now to move on the 2 last shows. So, this was on the 5th of January 2017. It was the Live from Orlando. Was this one night only, or... I'm trying to think now, because I'm trying to think back. I can't remember if this was an actual Impact Wrestling or one night only. Oh, well, I'm just going to cover these 2 shows anyway. It's just, this episode is more of a catch-up. So I'm not going to give a full detail. I'm just going to go brief over it. So we had Moose taking on Mike Bennett for the Impact Grand Championship. That much for me was a good... Well, I don't like the Impact Grand Championship. I've already said that, but... I want to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Especially with Anthem dropping the TNA name, I do think the titles might be called Anthem Impact Grand Championship and Anthem Tag Team Champions, or they might just go Impact Tag Team Champions and go that way with it and drop the TNA part and just change it with Impact. We'll just have to wait and see. We saw Swoggle, who used to be Hogswoggle, finds Vanguard 1 and then comes across Broken, Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. Matt asks Swoggle if he wants to send to Impact Wrestling by his father, Meek Mahan. Swoggle tells him Vince isn't really his father. Then we saw Swoggle taking on Rockstar Spud. Swoggle got the victory, and Rockstar Spud says he's quitting the company. We saw Eli Drake hosting a Fact of Life statement with TNA Tag Team Champions. Broken Matt and Brother Nero were upset that he wasn't invited. No, he said to them he was upset that he wasn't invited to Total Non-Stop Deletion. Matt said everybody was invited, but Eli was scared like the day of New and the Bucks of Youth. Eli announced that he has a partner and will challenge Matt and Jeff, the Tag Team Champions, at one night only. We saw Decay taking on the Helms Dynasty. 2 out of... No, it could be nicer. 3 out of 5 stars. It was solid. We saw Sienna taking on Ali. Getting bored of it. 2 out of 3 stars. We saw Eddie Edwards taking on Lashley and EC3 in a triple threat match. I've got to say, it was an alright match. So, I'll give it 3 stars again. I can't remember the one night only results, so I am looking for it, but I don't think it's on here. No, it's not. It's just this TNA Impact. Don't think it's going to show me what happened on one night only. I have watched one night only, but I watch so much wrestling now, it's hard to keep up. And also, there is a current UFC star makes his debut on TNA as well. Is this it? Because it was the live one. Oh no, that's Joker's Wild. So they're still doing the one night only Joker. Oh, okay. I was hoping that kind of stuff was going to be dropped, but I guess not. Right, so I can't find the one night only thing, so I'm just going to have to go through We saw Bobby Lashley taking on EC3 in a last standing match. The winner would become number one contender. We saw Bobby Lashley defeat EC3 in the last man standing match. And I've got to admit, that match was brilliant. I'm going to have to give that 4.5 out of 5. I was amazed how good it was, especially when these two have fought quite a few times, but it was amazing. We saw Eli Drake bullying a staff member backstage with Tyrus, saying he's not going to talk, and he's just basically bullied this guy around and slapped him around backstage. We saw Aaron Rex debut his new gimmick with help of Rockstar Spud. Rex was wearing a fair coat and wearing rings. Robbie interrupts, takes shots at Spud, and then attacks Rex. Rex and Spud double team Robbie. Rex punches Robbie with his ring finger and says, "Violence isn't the answer." I'm really not sure on this character. Backstage, James Storm is with the DCC and says 2017 is a new beginning for them. Bram says Decay left him for dead, and this is why he joined DCC. Finally, they've referenced about Bram being kidnapped by Decay. Now, this happened quite a while ago, and I thought they were just going to leave it unanswered and that's it. But it looks like with having Jeff Jarrett on creative, it looks like he's actually fixing holes within TNA, and now we know why Bram joined DCC and referenced about the Decay thing. Eddie Kingston talks about paying his dues for 15 years. They are the Death Crew Council. Backstage, Maria finds Ali and gives her a list of things to do. She plans to have her husband, Mike Bennett, end this stupid thing with Brian Sutter. The Decay versus DCC ended in no contest. A brawl broke out involving James Storm at ringside. Bram and Eddie Kingston took on Abyss and Crazy Steve. Backstage, Davey Richard apologised to TNA champion Eddie Edwards. Talks about being frustrated sitting at home, having to sit out. Edward wants to change that by winning the tag team titles. And then we saw an interview with Brooke Tessmarker about being back. Brian Sutter took on Mike Bennett. Ali came down to ringside to distract Maria. Blah, blah, blah. Brian Sexton ended up getting the victory. We saw a confrontation between Rosemary and Jade, and they're going to face off in a Monsters Ball match. The Broken Hardys took on the Wolves. The Broken Hardys won that match, and I've got to give that match 4 out of 5. Impact's been really solid with its matches. That is one thing I can really praise high. It's been consistent. It's been solid. There's not really much that I can niggle at, to be honest, or fault. Yeah, there really isn't. It's just been a better product so far, creatively. I know there's still a lot more to do and a lot more to go, but we'll just have to wait and see. Is there anything I've missed? No. Right. I think that's everything for this episode. We will be back probably about 10 o'clock covering the WWE Catch Up, talking about 2 episodes of Raw and 2 episodes of SmackDown, and saying it's going to be brief. It's going to be just giving news, opinions, and ratings on matches. We're back to normal rotation on Monday. So big thanks to everybody watching, and I will see you again at 10 o'clock.